Hello, welcome to the channel. Today, I thought I'd talk about how I prep some of my minis for painting. I wanted to show you some of the techniques that I use and some of the tools that I use to get these minis ready for painting. First, I've been working on these Heroscape miniatures, and luckily these miniatures actually come pretty good. Luckily, there's not a whole lot of mold lines on these miniatures. Mold lines are one of the first things that I take care of whenever I'm prepping my miniatures. Working with these Heroscape miniatures, there's not a whole lot of mold lines. They actually did a really good job on them, but they all have a few, but they're not too bad to take care of. The best tool that I've found for taking care of mold lines is a regular X-Acto knife. And whenever you get your X-Acto knife, you want to make sure that you have a nice new sharp blade on it. This is really going to help out a lot. A dull blade is just going to kind of tear up the miniature more, so you really want to make sure that you got a new blade on it, and they're fairly cheap, so it's not a big deal to just go ahead and grab a new one. Something else that I use are these miniature files. I've had this set for years and years. They come in all kinds of shapes, so they let you get into smaller areas where you can't reach with the X-Acto knife, or sometimes they'll just help you smooth out an area where maybe the knife is kind of giving it a rough cut. You can use these here to give it a nice smooth finish. And you can see here, I'm going to start shaving away some of the mold lines on this. You don't want to dig into the models at all. You more or less just want to shave or scrape the mold lines. You want to be careful with it so that you're not digging into the actual plastic and creating a dent in it, because that's going to take a lot more work to fix. So you just kind of want to be very careful. Make sure that you're just going on the surface of it and just barely shaving off that mold line. I try to do the best that I can. Sometimes after you prime them up, you'll see some of these mold lines come back, or maybe you missed them because it's hard to tell sometimes with the lighting. But you can just go back in, shave it off if you need to, reprime that area. But yeah, just take your time, try to get as much as you can, because the mold lines really do stand out whenever you actually get your miniature all painted up. It's a shame to see these, ugly mold lines on these, on an otherwise nice paint job on these guys. The next thing when I'm working with these models, especially a softer plastic like some of these, is that mostly weapons or long extensions of them can be bent, like this sword here. But there's a super easy way of straightening these out. It only takes a couple of minutes, but it's well worth it to give you a nice look to these guys. So what you're going to want to do first is you're going to want to microwave or just heat up some water to almost boiling. I use the microwave in a measuring cup. I use about a half a cup of water, throw it in the microwave for around 2 minutes. It doesn't have to quite be this long, but you want to get it almost to a boiling point. You need it nice and warm, but not crazy hot. And this is what you want to use. Some people use hair dryers or heat guns, but I've always just used the hot water trick here. And here you just want to dunk in the section of the model. Like 5 seconds is probably more than enough. 3 to 5 seconds at the most, because these thin pieces are going to heat up super quick. Pull it out, hold the plastic into place where you want it. In this case, I'm just holding it with my finger there to straighten it out. And you can see it straightened it out in a matter of seconds. I've never had any problems. I've never had any damage done to them. But this is something I highly recommend. It only takes a couple of minutes, and it's going to really make it look a lot better. So at this point, for most figures, you're going to be ready to go ahead and prime them up. What I like to do is use a little bit of poster putty to stick the mini on top of a handle, or in this case here, I used an old apple barrel paint jar. Just something where you can set your miniature down and hold on to it. But you only need like the size of maybe chewing gum, like a wad of chewing gum on it. This will let you stick the miniature on there, and it's going to hold it and let you turn it upside down if you need to, and get it all around a nice prime job on it. For my primer, I usually use this Rust-Oleum primer. I haven't had any trouble with it. I've been using it for years. It's worked on almost every model that I've ever painted. Something else I like to recommend, especially with a spray painting, is this filtration mask that I have. I think I got this at Harbor Freight, maybe $5 a couple of years ago, but this has really been good. It seals up nice and tight, and it keeps a lot of the vapors, like the paint fumes and stuff, from breathing them in, is something you don't want to do. Okay, make sure you have plenty of ventilation. I like to do these outside, but here I'm just going to hold the primer about 12 inches away from the model, and I'm just going to keep just very short bursts, and I'm going to keep moving. I don't want to just blast it all in one go. You want to keep it moving around. You want to do short sprays with it, even light coat throughout it. And with that, this miniature is ready to go. I'm just going to let them dry a little bit more, but you can see there's no runs or anything. I did a nice light coat on that primer. You know, after he dries in a few hours, I like to give him, he's going to be ready to paint. So I hope that some of this information helps you. As I said, it's worth taking a few extra minutes to remove those mold lines, straighten out any pieces that need done, and give them a nice quick prime job. It's going to help you with your painting. So again, thanks for watching. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.